I'm gonna start by making oatmeal, a baked oatmeal today, or a breakfast casserole, however you wanna describe it. You're gonna need eggs, applesauce, oats, milk, and I'm also gonna put in cranberries. I need to make oat flour, and the easiest way to do this is to take regular oats, pour them in a blender, and blend them for a few seconds, and they turn into oat flour. You can buy oat flour, but it is crazy expensive, and all they do is literally what I'm doing right now. Voila, oat flour. I'm gonna start with half a cup. I'm gonna grease my baking dish with a little bit of butter. Half batch. This dish is, I think, 9 by 5. Once the pan is greased, I'm going to start mixing up the egg mixture. I'm going to start with half a cup of milk. I'm going to take 3 eggs to start with. And I'm not being as precise about the measurements because I don't know how much is going to fit into this bowl or into the pan that I'm cooking it in. If you're going to make a regular recipe, it would be 5 eggs, 1 cup milk, 1 cup applesauce, cinnamon and brown sugar, if you want to use that, and a little bit of salt. And salt helps bring out the flavor of the other spices. So it's always a good thing to add even just a little bit. We have our eggs, our milk, and if I was making this and I wasn't on a soft food diet, I'm going to add in the oats. I would just use regular oats like they were before they went into the blender. This is going to hopefully be a little more custardy, and the oats in there are going to help make you feel full. I'm going to use half a pint of the applesauce mixture that I have, and that's about 1 cup. It is 1 cup. Half a pint is 1 cup. And then I'm also going to cut up, I'm trying to figure out how much cranberries to put in. I like cranberries because the tart goes with the sweetness of the applesauce. But because they're round, the little boogers are a pain to cut up. So, and then I'm going to use one of the choppers that people can get. I don't know what they're called exactly. It's kind of like a slap chopper. Okay. Cranberries were frozen and I defrosted them in the fridge, so they're a little bit mushy. And cranberries do stain. So be aware of that if you're using a slap chopper and standing next to it in your perfect white outfit, it might end sadly. Alright, let's see how much of this fits in there. Hopefully the whole thing. Yay! It worked! Okay, very, very cool. I am going to make a topping to go on this. I'm going to use walnuts, and I'm going to use the blender again so that the walnuts are blended into powder. And that's one way. The blender is basically my new best friend on a soft food diet. It allows me to eat a lot of things. Excuse me. It allows me to eat a lot of things, and I just have to make the pieces really small. That's basically the number one rule. Just cut everything up to be as small as possible. Make the pieces as small as they would be if you chewed them yourself and were going to swallow them. I'm going to do the salt now because I forgot it earlier. That's my bad. And then I have cinnamon in the applesauce that I put in, so I'm not going to add any more. But normally I would add anywhere from 1/2 to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And luckily I remembered before I put the topping on, so yay me. For the topping, I'm going to do 1/4 cup of walnuts. I'm adding walnuts because they're healthy, they're good for you. They have omega-3s, which are good for your heart. I'm going to add 1/2 to a full tablespoon. I'll probably do a full tablespoon of brown sugar. And 1/2 tablespoon each of flaxseed and chia seeds. The basic version of the topping is walnuts and sugar. And if you can tell, it just turns the walnuts completely into dust. So you don't have to worry about eating them at all. I also add chia seeds, 1/2 tablespoon of chia seeds, 1/2 tablespoon of flax seeds, because those are also good sources of omega-3s. And then once the topping has totally covered the top of the egg mixture, I'm going to put a little dots of butter on top to melt into the topping. But I just like that I don't have to worry about this at all because the topping is powder. I mean, I could suck it through a straw if I really wanted to. Couple little dabs of butter along the top. If you want, you could probably melt the butter and then pour it over the top. I'm going to get a little bit more. Okay, I'm getting a little overzealous here. So butter on top. This is ready to go into the oven.